Beta, which one? Long, long question. So yesterday I discussed that portion. I discussed. So read the question. Read. Read the question. Yes, not that clear. Okay, I know the question, but my voice is low. Yes. Here the answer is yes. Listen, the answer is that the pollination is possible between the two flower born on the two different trees due to the different agent. They can be wind that can be means especially they are asking for apple. So terrestrial plant. So for the terrestrial plant, two agents are there: animal or wind. Water is the agent for the aquatic plant. So for the terrestrial plant, there can be two agents that animal and wind. So you just explain the role of these two agents in this question. And understood? And the third question explain how fertilization takes place after the pollen grain land on the stigma of the receiving flower. Here you have to write the whole process of fertilization. Here the third question in this you have to write the whole process of fertilization. After pollination, what happened to that means to what happened to the pollen grain? What happened to it? Yes, who will tell? My third question only, and this portion I discussed yesterday. Third portion that the process of fertilization they are asking in the third question, and process of fertilization you people don't know. Sec- Second question is that only the you have to write the role of agents, specifically wind and animal, because a terrestrial plant this apple is a terrestrial plant, and terrestrial plant pollinated by the two agent, that is the wind and the animals. So write the role of these two. Got it? The process of fertilization also means like what you have not understood, you just ask me. Because it's very simple, means what happened that to the pollen grain when it landed on it, from it the pollen tube arises, and then it moves towards the style, towards the ovary through the style, and then it reaches to the ovule. The tip of the pollen tube burst open and it releases the male gamete, both the male gamete in the ovule. One will fuse with the egg, another fuse with the polar nuclei. As a result, zygote and the endosperm is formed. This is fertilization. It's there on the page number 27. Now the picture is study. Here in picture study, the first question is the figure given alongside, that is the figure of the uh, flower. All the world of the flower is visible in that. It's a vertical section of a flower. Study the same and answer the questions. So here is the vertical section of a flower. You just means study it and give the answer of this question. Just raise your hand. Is the flower unisexual or bisexual? Just raise your hand. Yes, Mantasha, you tell me. Mantasha, you tell me. Flower is bisexual. Yes. Now the second question. And what I'm saying means every time the same instruction I have to give, and after every minute I have to instruct you that just raising hand is enough. Second question, name the parts of the flower labeled 1 to 7 in the figure. So here 1 to 7 is it is labeled and you just have to label it. So raise your hand. Hana, you tell me. Hmm. Everyone label it. Everyone label it. Yes, first one is antho. Yes, second one is stigma. Yes, very good. Third one is style. Yes, fourth one is filament. Fifth one is sepal. Yes. Sixth one is ovule. Yes, very good. Seventh one is no. Just have a look there. How it can be ovary? Hana? Where it is pointed, you just check the where it is. That pointer is there to the red color. They are the patterns. Ovary is the swollen part of the what you can say carpel. The stigma, style, and the lower swollen part, which is seated on the thalamus, that is ovary. Where the ovule is there, and the colorful part of the flower is usually what you can say corolla or the petal. Corolla is the whole world, and the petal is a single unit. Sometimes bracts are also colorful, like in Dahlia, but they are the rare cases. Anyway, the next question, state the function of parts 1, 2, 4, and 6. 1, 2, 4, and 6. Okasha, yes. Tell me the function of 1 quickly. Quickly. Yes. Where Ukasha gone? Just now I asked from Ukasha. Okay, you tell Hamza Kamal. A bit louder, a bit louder. Function of anther now. One by one, you tell first part which is labeled as first is anther, and the function of anther is to form and store the pollen grain. They are the male reproductive cells. And then the second part is the stigma. Now, what is the function of a stigma that you have to tell. First, you have to mention the name and then you have to write the function of it. Pollen grain passes in what? In what? Pollen tube is not passing through the file. So, hmm. Hmm. Now, okay, fine. Amna, rest of the part you tell. Four and six. Amna, tell me. Which question you? What does part six change? Means like your Faizan. I am on C part, and you are asking D part. So let me finish first C part, then I will discuss the D part as well. Yes, Amna, complete this. You have a connectivity problem. Nadia, you tell me. Function of 4 and the 6. Hmm. Carries the answer? Hold the anther and it help to means fix in flower to join with the means it has to what you can say join this anther with the flower. It's a connection between anther and the flower. And what's the function of 6? Hmm. So the function of ovule is that it's a site of fertilization. It produces egg. It produces egg, and it's a site of fertilization. Okay. Now the sixth one. What does part six change into after fertilization? I think many time I told this thing many time, and not this year, last year also, that after fertilization ovule changes into seed and ovary changes into fruit. Yes or no? I told you many times, and I don't know what's the confusion again and again. But this change will occur after fertilization. When the fusion of male and female gamete occur, after that only this change will be possible. Otherwise, not. Ovule will be changed into the seed and ovary into fruit. Got it? Okay. Now they study the figure given below and answer the following question. Okay. Okay. Now define the process. So they define. You have to explain it. Okay. Very good. Here, oh, you have to means like he told fine, but here the stepwise. You have to explain the stepwise. Yes. 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 When the seed sow in the soil, it soaks what? Yes, ma'am. What? Hmm? It absorbs water, then the seed coat cracks, and then what happened? The plumule and the radicals comes out inside. The seed cotyledon is there. In dicot seed, two cotyledon. In monocot seed, one cotyledon. That cotyledon provides food. That cotyledon provide food or the nutrient to the embryo at the time of germination. Hmm. So here is the process. Which process is shown in the picture? Here it's germination. And which type of germination it is? Can you tell me? Hmm. Which type of germination? Apical germination. Apical. Epigeal. You all speak at the same time and then you will understand everything. Okay? How many times I have to tell you that just listen? So everyone will speak. How will you listen? It's germination. It's apical germination. Epigeal apical germination. It's a dicot plant, and here the process that the seed absorb water because it's sown in the moist soil, so it absorbs the water from the soil. And what happen after few days that the seed coat breaks, and as a result, when the seed coat breaks, what happen? The radicals comes out or emerges, and of course radical it's moved down, means by default radicals move down towards the soil to absorb, to fix the plant in the soil and to absorb the nutrient and water from the soil. And then the plumule grows and develop into shoot system. So root develop into, sorry, radical develop into root, and plumule develop into the shoot. And because it's apical, so the cotyledon also what it comes above the soil. So seed is below the soil. We sow the seed below the soil, in the soil, but during germination, what happen in this apical germination, that the cotyledon pushes above the soil and it comes above the soil, and for some time it provides the food to the plant till it is having its own leaf. So till the time it's having its own leaf, it's providing the food for the plant, it making food for the plant, you can say. And later on, when the plant having its own leaf, then these cotyledons are dry and they just disappear. So mostly this apical germination means occur in the dicots mostly. Okay. So here you have to explain apical germination and now name the seed and mention its type. So in here you have written the means define the process in that only apical germination you have defined. Here again they ask the name and the name the seed. So of course it's a bean seed, it's visible and the type is apical germination. What is the function of the part labeled 1 and 2? So here the third one is the what is the function of the part labeled here in the picture 1 and 2? Just tell me quickly. What is the function of plumule? The part which is labeled as 1, what is it? Yes, it is plumule. What happened? What happened? Hmm. The part, very good. And cotyledon? Yes. So the listen now listen. Now listen. The part one, which is the part one here in the picture, that is actually the plumule, and its function is to means it's later on changes into the shoot. And here the part three, that is the cotyledon, and its function is to provide food to the growing plant or the embryo till it's having its own leaf. Now, what is likely to happen to part 3? Sorry, yes, I told you the part 2 is the seed coat. Part 2 is seed coat. Hmm. Hmm. And what happened to the part 3? What happened to the part 3? Okay. What? 1, 2, 4, and 6 where? In question 1. Question 1. So 1, 2, 3 only there, 4 is not there. Yes, here you have to write the function of 1 and 2, and then here what is this what happened to the part 3? So what happened to the part 3 when the plant is having its own leaf, it's dry and shrink and disappear. Hmm. But when it disappear, when it's having its own leaf. Yes. Hmm. Very good. And still you remember, that's the great thing. Okay, now let's start third chapter. And just you do what you have to do. You just have to complete your all the exercises and question answers, and then you have to post your work on app, LG app. And I already assigned the work there, so post your work. I have given you time, 2 days are there to complete your work, so post there. Okay, that's very good, mashallah. Yes, mashallah. Yes, Vita. Hmm. But here, at the end of this chapter, there is an activity related to herbarium to create a herbarium of flowers and leaves. What is herbarium? Is actually you just have to collect the different types of flowers and different types of leaves, and just wash them, and then you just keep somewhere. Means keep in the newspaper, and then press somewhere, means under some books or something you keep, so that some pressure put on, and as a result only for few days, and then after few days you will find that they are dry, means that the water content is just dry, and those dried part of the plant you just on. So you just paste on a scrapbook. Okay. So that's your activity. Whatever in your surrounding or in your house, if the plants are there, pots are there, take different types of leaf and few different types of flower, and just dry them as I told you, keep in newspaper and just press somewhere and leave for few days, and then just when they dry, paste on with the help of the tape on the scrap notebook, or you can do the same thing in your the science, means bio copy notebook, as you wish, means there also you can do. Fine. So this is an activity. What? Clean it, of course. Maybe the dust is there, maybe the soil is there, may so just clean it. Hmm? Then just wash it, dry with the clothes with the light hand, and then keep in the newspaper. After means wiping with the extra water, whatever, means after washing it should be wet only. So clean that extra water and then keep those leaves, the clean leaves, in the newspaper, and then press under some books or some any heavy thing only for few days, and when you open after few days you will see that they are dried. So the dried leaves or the part of the flower, you just have to paste, or in you can paste in the biology copy also. Or you can make a scrap. Yes, paste, use that your biology copy only, and that you can do this activity. Okay. Anyway, now let's start the third chapter. And the third chapter is cell, the basic unit of life. In this chapter we will learn about cell, means what is cell. We know that the basic unit of cell, so we'll learn about it. Then we'll learn size, number and shape, means cell size, cell number, cell shape. And then we'll study in this chapter some cell organelles, the small structures present in the cell, they are called cell organelles, and cell organelles and their function, means what are the small tiny structures present in the cell and what are their function, we'll study in this chapter. Then we'll study differences between plant and animal cell, means what are the difference between the plant cell and an animal cell. So these are the things we will be learn in this chapter, inshallah. So just tell me, just raise your hand. What means? What do you understand with the term cell? How will you define it? Because you know this cell term is studied for the third class. Yes. Say again. Say again. Hmm. Why you people are talking each other? I allowed him to means tell. That's why I'm quiet. I'm listening. Hmm. Okay. Amna, keep your camera off. Okay, now. So cell is the smallest building block of all living organism. Smallest unit of all living organism. And we know that cell is microscopic. We cannot see with the naked eye. We need an instrument that is called microscope to see, because it's a very tiny in size. The cell is very tiny structure. So to see, we use an instrument that is called microscope, and with the naked eye we cannot see the cell. And we know that the microscope is made up of lenses, and lenses function is to magnify the object. So magnify means to increase the size. Yes, what? I'm not sure about it. So a compound microscope is used to view magnified images of a smaller object like cells or organism like bacteria and amoeba on a slide. As we know that bacteria, amoeba, they are multicellular, naked eye. So to see to microscope. So to see under the to see them, we need to use microscope. Microscope function is to magnify the images or magnify the objects. Okay. So here what we learn about cell. The cell is very tiny structure. We cannot see with the naked eye. To see, we need microscope, and microscope function is to magnify the images. Page number 57. So the cell is the basic structural and functional unit of a living organism. This Rashid Ali is actually the name of the student. This Rashid Ali, wait a minute, Mantasha, you guys. Rashid Ali is the father's name. Why are you not means login with your name? And Ahmad Ali Abdullah, just you means you are means disturbing the class a lot. All the time is speaking. If like you, everyone will start doing, then it will be very difficult to take class. Mute your mic. When I allow you, then only you speak. And other are also started doing because of you. So a cell is the basic structural and functional unit of a living organism. Structural means the body of an organism is actually made up of cell. Just like building is made up of bricks, in the same way the body of the organism is made up of cells. So that's why it is this structural unit. If someone will ask the structural unit of the building, then you will tell that it's a brick. Brick is the structural unit of the building. In the same way, the cell is the structural basic structural unit of an organism. And here, the cell is not only the structural unit; it's functional as well.